For who? Renata? Tomato? Say again. Oh! For Sparta! No retreat! No mercy! Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man. That's your services. How are you all? For me and my Spartan comrades here. Yeah, now, you all know how much I love the whole Spartan mythology, the whole Spartan history, and the movie 300 and its sequel, 300 Rise of an Empire. And I've covered it many times. I've talked about the weaponry, the helmets. You've seen videos on this. You've seen videos on the sword there, the spear, and there'll be more to come on that because I've got more bits and bobs coming. And you've seen the figures as well. I've got all the figures there as well. So I thought this time, something I've touched upon but never really discussed properly. I absolutely adore the music to 300 from, of all people, Tyler Bates. Yeah, the notorious Tyler Bates. Now, I don't want to do him a big disservice because he's not held in that higher regard when it comes to Hollywood. Although he's done some great soundtracks as well. Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2, the John Wick movies. Yeah, I like them. Don't confuse him with Steven Tyler. Who's Steven Tyler? Brian Tyler. Steven Tyler's somebody else, isn't he? Isn't that Liv Tyler's dad? Big lips. No. Brian Tyler's a fabulous composer. But Tyler Bates came out with, for Zack Snyder, 300. And it's a fabulous, pounding percussive score. I mean, these guys, they're like rock gods, literally made out of rock, going to war to defeat the Persian onslaught at the Hot Gates. And Gerard Butler, making no attempt to disguise his Scottish accent, it's just fabulous. It's a career-defining role. I've discussed many times, I've touched upon the film a lot, but as I say, this is the thing I wanted to discuss because I totally and utterly adore this score, but it has got a fair bit of controversy. I know people out there going like, no, the word's controversy. No, it's controversy. For me, it's controversy. But certain tracks in this, which also happen to be some of the greatest tracks in this score, are not from Tyler Bates. They're from Elliot Goldenthal. Or is it Goldenthal? All depends. Elliot Goldenthal, as I know him, did Batman Forever. He did Pet Sematary, the original Pet Sematary, and Interview with the Vampire, Alien 3, and they are fabulous, fabulous scores, tremendous scores. He doesn't do anywhere near enough, really, for movie scores. I wish there was 1,000 other scores of his that I could have at my disposal. But he also did, in I think 1999, I think it was, Titus with Anthony Hopkins, and this was the big Roman extravaganza, Titus Andronicus and all that. And the score for that, which he delivered, this Elliot Goldenthal, is extraordinary. It's beautiful, it's elegiac, it's powerful, it's exciting, it's just full of every flavour under the sun. And of course, two of the tracks that are in that, Tyler Bates nicked pretty much wholesale to put into 300. So much so that in the end, Warner Brothers, who issued the soundtrack and the movie, had to put out a little sort of disclaimer on releases of it on CD, and I don't know if there's a vinyl release, there might be these days, saying that yeah, these two tracks are from Elliot Goldenthal, and there's a little disclaimer saying don't worry, everything's okay, we've sorted all this out, so we love and respect Elliot Goldenthal, because they do. And so Tyler Bates got a bit of a bad reputation for this, and funnily enough, I've got the original CD release right in front of me right now. You're hearing it now. And there's the rather elaborate booklet there. Queen Gorgo. What is it? Rodrigo Santoro playing the 10-foot tall Xerxes. Fantastic. And there's loads of little blurb, lots of thanks and acknowledgements, loads of writings on it, all the way through. All the musicians are mentioned, and there's the actual case as well. And there's a bit of writing on the back of it, acknowledgements and that. But the version I've got here does not have that apology. I don't know if that makes it rare, but that's not the point I'm getting to. The point is that yes, I acknowledge the fact that one of my favourite tracks here is totally lifted wholesale from the middle section of an epic, the finale. The cue is called Finale from Titus. Tyler Bates has wholesale lifted and then the entire middle section for what is, I think, the greatest bit of music in 300. And when I first saw 300, I was so blown away. I got the soundtrack the same day, and I raced home to play the soundtrack. Oh God, I just loved it. And only afterwards did I discover, and I'm a big fan of Elliot Goldenthal, but I did not have the Titus soundtrack, and I hadn't even seen the film Titus. And then all of a sudden, these allegations came out, and I thought, oh no, please don't do this. Because roughly the same sort of period, you had a few years later, Mark Streitenfeld, who did Prometheus and The Grey. I love The Grey, I hate Prometheus, but I love the soundtracks to both those movies. And my favourite tracks in both those scores aren't even from him, they're from somebody else. So I was going through a bit of a period where oh God, I can't trust anybody. These damn composers putting their name to things, and they're not even doing the music. So I went through a bit of a soul-searching, sort of dark period where I despised them all. But then I realised, fuck it, I love the music. And they're going to say that there's some slight different interpretations, some slight different orchestration, maybe a bit more ethnic instruments are brought in. What I'm not going to do, I'm not going to play the soundtrack to 300, the two cues in question, and then compare them to the ones from Titus. I'm not going to do it because my favourite track from 300, which is Remember Us, which I'm going to play for you, it's identical. There just isn't a way around it. You can't dress it up and say, oh, this does sound very similar. He's using the same sort of rhythm, the same sort of timing, very similar instrumentation. No, it's identical. There's no two ways about it. He's lifted it wholesale. Now that really is unforgivable. But the thing is, in the movie itself, I cannot divorce myself from the fact that in the movie, the two tracks in question, and particularly Remember Us, is so glorious, so moving, so powerful, so memorable, that I just can't separate it from 300. I can't go, oh no, I can't listen to that because it's really from Titus. Damn! So I've got over all that now. So anyway, 300, awesome. Yeah, it's pure macho, bludgeoning, carnage, rife mayhem. It's pure heroism writ large. Pounding music, scorching visuals, Zack Snyder, and taken from Frank Miller's celebrated graphic novel. Of course, we all know all that side of it. But anyway, the music in question, this is the piece. Should I play that right away, or should we build up to it? What do you guys reckon? You speak in the gap underneath the nose guard. There's a gap there. He said, build up to it. Okay, we shall. So, we all know the story. 300 Spartans, plus amalgamated other allies from different Greco-states, Arcadians and Athenians, all form themselves up at Thermopylae, which is a narrow coastal path which you can funnel no matter how many troops Xerxes sends in, millions among millions of his hordes, his Persian hordes. They've got to go through that little gap so the Spartans, lightly armoured, can hold them back with their better training, better skill, and just sheer bloody bravado. That is true. That's not fake. All the movie does is just strip them down to just little burgundy undies, their shields, big massive capes, and floaty CGI abs. No, actually, they look pretty good. They did work out a lot for this. I know they did. I followed their training regime quite a bit, actually. So I know what went into it. And I know going along with what I said about Chris Hemsworth and a few other movie stars bulking up for roles, the old yeah, Gerard Butler, yeah, I can believe that he's fucking huge in this. I have seen his workout, and I've seen him do the workout. As I say, roids don't stop you. You're still going to put the work in. It just makes it a damn sight easier for you to get through massive workouts, lift heavier weights, and recover quicker. That's what it does. And as I also said, these guys aren't competing in any sporting, tournaments. They're not going against other competitors. They're beefing up to look right for a role, a particular style, a look that's wanted by the movie character, by the film directors, by the story itself. This is what they need. So, hey, I'm not knocking it at all. But they get betrayed by the hunchback, Ephialtes. Andrew Tiernan, I think, played him. He wants to be a Spartan, and your heart does bleed for him. In reality, because in Zack Snyder's movie and in the book itself, it's heavily fantasized. There's creatures and stuff in there as well. The Immortals, who were Xerxes' main bodyguard, who numbered so many that when one was killed, another would immediately fill his place. So that bred the title, the Immortals. They never seemed to die because the ranks never seemed to diminish. That's how the enemies saw them. They're immortal. But in the film, they're like sort of ninja, samurai, weird hybrids, but they've got weird misshapen feet. They've got claws. When the masks come off, they are monstrous, fanged, saggy-faced, teabag, bloody-faced bastards, and with glinting evil eyes, and they are savage beyond belief. But Ephialtes gets turned down by Leonidas, King Leonidas, Gerard Butler. He wants to join their army. He said, "Look, Ephialtes, I recognise your passion, and it's a good spear thrust, but you need to be able to raise, your shield, from here to here, and you can't do it because of that hump on your back. I'm sorry. If you want to help the Spartan battle, treat the wounded, give them water, bring them back from the battlefield. But as far as the fighting's concerned, I cannot use you." So of course, Ephialtes just sees his big fat ass. "Oh, Leonidas, you are wrong." So he goes off to meet Xerxes, and Xerxes promises him everything if Ephialtes tells him the whereabouts of the secret goat-haired trail, which will lead the Persians up behind the pass to the back of the gates, the hot gates, Thermopylae, so they can come up behind the 300 and wipe them out. And so Ephialtes does that, obviously, and he says, "I just want one thing, a uniform." So he just wants to be recognised and be identified and be part of something. So Xerxes, I'm a kind king. I'm a god. Leonidas is a cruel king to ignore you and spurn you and all that. He demanded that you stand with the shield, which you can't do because of his deformities. All I ask of you is that you kneel. It's a con job, obviously, but Ephialtes falls for it, and he does tell him the way, so he betrays the 300. In reality, it is known that goat herders up there who were afraid, well, not so much afraid of the Persians. The Persians were actually not despised by many of the Greeks and other surrounding countries, because when the Persians came out, you or be subservient to us. We're gonna control you, but your land is gonna prosper as well. This is the promise that Xerxes makes to Leonidas. You'll be proclaimed warlord of all Greece. Sparta will be more powerful than ever before. All I ask is that when I call for you, you come. So a lot of Greeks thought, well, hang on, why are we going to fight this guy? We could all gain from this. So in reality, Greeks did betray their own kind, Greek goat herders, and it is said that one of the ones that did do it was a hunchback. So the movie and comic book kind of get that bit right. So anyway, they get surrounded. All the other bloody Greeks, the Acadians and Athenians, frig off back home. Look, we can't fight. You're going to die, Leonidas. Then die we shall. All this, and the glorious last stand. So, you're hearing some of this stuff here now, but it's that final segment where they form like a tortoise with their shields up, like the immortals have come round back through the pass. The Persian might is all the way around on this coastal cliff pathway, and Leonidas alone stands out in front, helmet on, spear, shield, and an emissary of Xerxes is saying, look, look, Leonidas, despite your many blasphemies, your victory will be complete if you but kneel before holy Xerxes. I mean, this is lovely music as well, but this is back in Sparta itself. But let's get to this finale. And I remember, those of you who know me, you know what I'm like. You know how gung-ho I am and how totally immersed I get in these things at the cinema. Oh God, I do feel sorry for the people who were several rows in front of me, because I was up. For Sparta! Giving it loads. And I was trembling with like just pure, adrenaline. And then when they die and all that, like there was tears in my eyes, the tears of pride. I'm a dickhead, aren't I? But well, we've got a little guest appearance from Jeff Goldblum has come in as the Fly. Summertime, you see. So obviously, they're going to make one final stand. He's going to drop the shield. He's going to take the helmet off because it obscures his vision, and he needs to see far away. And he will kneel. He'll drop to his knees, and he will. Stelios, who's played by Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender, yeah. This is before he became. Oh, he was in everything after this. Every bloody movie going, he was in it. Christ Almighty, in every TV show, Michael Fassbender. And he plays Stelios. Like long billowy hair, so he's got down on his knees like that, and Xerxes just stands up thinking, yes, I've got him finally, I've won over Leonidas. And like Stelios uses Leonidas as a springboard and starts taking out Persians, and then they're like, oh, slaughter them, says Xerxes, but Leonidas gets his spear and lashes it, because he's meant to be a god king. So, but as during an earlier sort of parley with Xerxes is trying to make this offer to him, surrender, and like you'll be stronger than ever before. And he was like, I'm not kneeling to you, and all that, like, so then you'll all die, but before this battle is out, the world will know the free men stood against many, and that even a god king can bleed. So he lashes his spear and catches him, and just cleaves open the side of his face, and then thunks through like the wall behind him on his mobile bloody super chariot. This is the slaughter them. So they all get quilled with arrows from all over the place, and even like Leonidas, everyone's going down. Like Vincent Reagan, who plays the captain, who had the misfortune of watching his own son get beheaded. Astanos, played by Tom Wisdom, get beheaded. He's I filled my heart with hate. And his final moment, he's just taken out left, right, and centre, and he gets a spear rammed through him. But he gets several, and you think he just pulls the guys towards him, and then chops them all down. But Tyler Bates, it's pounding percussive music. A lot of people don't like it. There's a lot of strange ethnic instruments in there. A lot of vocalization as well. Now you're going to hear the gorgeous voice of Azam Ali, who's an Iranian singer, musician. I think she's now in her 50s, but she, after the likes of sort of James Horner ushering in with Braveheart and a lot of wailing female sort of vocals, And then in Gladiator, Lisa Gerrard for Hans Zimmer and Ridley Scott. And then Troy, and you just seem to have wailing female vocals on a lot of these things. You've actually got male vocalization here as well. But you do have Azam, Ali. So they're all like dying in slow motion. Curled with arrows. Stelios, Michael Fassbender, will like reach out for Leonidas. Sire, it's an honour to die at your side. And Leonidas say like, it's an honour to have lived at yours. It's getting me now as well. And Gerald Butler, Leonidas, will stand one final time, and he'll think to Lena Headey, his wife Queen Gorgo. My queen, my wife, my love. These things get to me. Excuse me one moment. I'm not going to whinge. I'm going to go and get my whiskey. Well, I might be whinging in a minute. No, there's a big bottle over there. Cheers. For Sparta and my eternal liver. A lot of electronics as well. A lot of dense textures, tones. But the music is still powerful. This is where you just stand like that, and we will blot out the sky with our arrows, and they do on a couple of occasions. Now, look, we are coming up to my favourite track. We're getting there. This next track is called A Message for the Queen. And what this is, he's already sent back Delios, who's their orator. Delios, played by the great David Wenham from Lord of the Rings. He's Faramir, and he's also that stupid monk serving Hugh Jackman in Van Helsing. Oh dear God, dear God. But he's a good actor, and in this he's comically good because he's very Shakespearean in his enunciation, and that's why I use him in this role. And he fights, he's good, he loses an eye. Sire, the gods saw fit to bless me with another. No, you've got another purpose. Go back, because we're all going to die here. Go back, tell the Queen, tell the council what we did here. Tell them to remember us and why we did it, why we stood here and died as one to unite Greece. Tell them. So this is him going back to visit Queen Gorgo, Azam Ali, and Snyder's version, down like a wheat field, the sun glimmering across this painted wheat field. And all he does, he hands back the necklace that she gave to Leonidas, because she has said to Leonidas, Spartan, come back with your shield or on it. Carry the dead back on the shield. But of course, he hasn't come back at all, shield at all, but he's given the necklace that she gave to him, to Delios, to give back to his queen. And Delios, David Wenham suddenly can't speak. He's got a bandage over one eye, and he's just like, I got really worked up. Still do when I watch it now. And of course it works. It does unite all of the Greek city-states to fight back at this land known as Plataea. Fear heart, sheer fear gripping the heart, fear heart, gripping the hearts of all the Persians. They know what horrors they suffered at the hands of 300 Spartans. Now they face 10,000 free Greeks. Here we go. This is the track Remember Us. This track is lifted wholesale from Elliot Goldenthal's Titus, the middle section of a long queue called finale. But this is so gorgeous. I'm giving it a reprieve. I shouldn't do that, should I? But I am. And this is like a montage of David Wenham's Delios telling the council, inspiring the Greek armies to unite, and then he's also giving a speech to all the amassed 10,000 troops. Although how anyone at the back can hear him, God only knows. Magic of movies. This will soar. This will begin to soar. It will, I promise you. It's bells, I don't even like bells. Now, I can imagine a lot of people who were soundtrack buffs, score fans, when this kicked in, they'd have going like, I know this is... And they'd be horrified. Swells with such grandeur and ethereal might. On these shields, boys! You're saying, what shield? Yeah, I forgot to bring it down, didn't I? That last bit there, do you hear that bit there? That boom, it rises and then goes boom. I'll take it back a bit, because what happens is, when I play this score in my earphones, no matter where I am, if I'm walking the streets, if I'm on a train, on a bus, if I'm in a beer garden, usually beer garden, and I've got this on, you listen to that final bit, I always think that when it's on, I just go like that. The big boom comes on, I go, and stare at somebody. Wait, it's coming. They're just minding their own business. There's Kilt-Man. Hiya, Kilt-Man. Kilt-Man! So, if you encounter me and I do that, I'm not being nasty, I'm just totally and utterly embracing that bit of music. Now, that is what is from Titus. Yeah, isn't that a shame that the might and glory and power of that track from Tyler Bates, yeah, even I made that mistake, from Tyler Bates, is unfortunately, it's scorched by the fact that it's not even his. And if only he recognised that at the time, forcing Warner Brothers to do this sort of, look, we know Elliot Goldenthal did this, we've settled it outside, so nobody kick up a stink, we've all sorted out now, everybody's happy, but Tyler Bates isn't working for us for another 7 years, which is sort of what happened anyway. But he didn't do the sequel. That was Junkie XL. Tom Holkenberg did the sequel, 300 Rise of an Empire. So, anyway, there's me gone. That's my favourite track. It's actually not my favourite track. My favourite track is this. There's a sequence when Astanos and Stelios, so Michael Fassbender as Stelios, and Tom Wisdom playing Astanos, the captain's son, who've been trading off homosexual jokes at each other all the way through the movie. They go off on a two-man battle spree, the camera roving around them, taking out hundreds and hundreds of Persians, and it's fucking amazing. It's a brilliant piece of music, and it's a brilliantly choreographed battle sequence. And this is it. It's called To Victory. And it plays twice during that sequence and then during the final animated end credits. Listen to this. The camera follows them round as they get surrounded. They do rolls, commando rolls, lots of slicing and dicing, throwing the swords. Taiko drums here, lots of ethnic percussion. Azam, Azali, and male choir as well. This is workout music, this. A little respite, methinks. It's where they speak to each other. Still here. Not now, man, I'm busy. Those sort of strings, is that like a dulcimer? Hammered dulcimer? There's a husky dog. Hey! And there you go, folks. Well, that was like a weird little whistle-stop tour. Oh, I'll have to go because the dog wants to go out. So, folks, I have been, always shall be, kilted for your entertainment. That sounds really wrong, doesn't it? But hey, it's true. So, folks, in the meantime and in between time, please be happy, be healthy, and I am going to see you all with a movie review of Dead and Buried, the great 1981 classic horror movie.